Twins. We are the Fourth. We are NC.
Royals baseball from downtown Minneapolis, where we finally have some cool early fall-like weather as the Royals begin a 3-game series with the Minnesota Twins. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and this road trip began in Cleveland. The Royals dropped 2 out of 3, but they continue to pitch well, and Brad Keller gave up just 1 earned run in his last start against Corey Kluber, and now the baton is passed to Heath Fillmyer.
Fillmyer has been outstanding, and you know, you might hear the word opportunity an awful lot this year, but that's what it is. These young players, they need the opportunity to show what they can do. And Fillmyer, he's really filled the strike zone up. I mean, hard fastballs, but his slider usage is really up in his last 2 starts. Against the Cleveland Indians and the Baltimore Orioles, he did well. Defense played behind him, he pitched to contact. Hope to see the same tonight.
And he'll be pitching to Salvador Perez, who has not played yet in September. And when we come back, we will show you why the timing is perfect. All right, Hud, Salvador Perez takes on the Twins today by AARP.
Oh, what a special place for Salvador Perez to come back from his little holiday he's had right here at Target Field. He's raked more home runs by any opponent facing the Twins. And in slugging percentage, .609, that's the highest slugging percentage, period.
And it's also good timing for Alex Gordon, who's had a good year against the Twins this year. The season series is tied at 6-game apiece. The Royals are 5-1 at home. The Twins are 5-1 at home. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. And that's what we have here in downtown Minneapolis as the Twins take the field. They're home after a rough road trip. They went 2-7 in Cleveland, Texas, and Houston. And here's the Royals batting order tonight. And we begin with Salvador Perez. Ned Yost admitted before the game he's not sure what to expect from Salvi, who's been out for a while with a sprained left thumb. He has not played since August 28th, so he will come back and bat 6th. And the Royals will get a look at one of the Twins' top pitching prospects, left-hander Steven Gonsalves.
Yep, 6'5", 213 pounds. He's got a nice looking build for a lefty. They're like a tall and lanky who can get out there and really finish out over the top. This keys for the Royals is to get that fastball. Look at it, 385 so far. Don't let him get comfortable. Go ahead and get him and don't miss him. Look him up. Defensively, Minnesota Twins, they've made the 11th most errors out of 15 teams in the league and are a -15 this season in defensive run saving. So that's 20th best out of 30. Hasn't been a good year for them. But Logan Forsythe, he's their veteran, came over on the deadline trade, 7/31.
And it is a brand new series for Whit Merrifield. He takes a fastball for a strike. Whit was hitless in the entire Cleveland series. That's 0 for 13. It's only the second time this year that he's been hitless in an entire series. And he hits a line drive right back to Gonsalves, who I think Hud at first didn't realize he caught it.
Nice catch by the glove. That'll make him exhale, but I'm not sure that would have gotten through the infield. I think it could have. Forsythe, the second baseman, it was a step up the middle. Hard luck already.
Adalberto Mondesi bats second again, and that's where Ned Yost had him on Tuesday night in Cleveland. And then Mondi was not in the lineup on Wednesday afternoon, so he's coming off a couple days rest. And that's into right center field and down. Good start to the Minnesota series for Mondesi. He's on with 1 out.
Love it. Not waiting around one bit. If you see a good pitch you can hit, why not? Right down the middle. Good spot. Hit it with aim. Now see if he can get his stealing in gear here.
Alex Gordon is hitting .239 for the year. .347 against Minnesota. And his success against the Twins goes back to matchups in the Metrodome. It gets away from Garver and moves Mondesi into scoring position. Wow, that'll be an interesting one. It got a lot of the glove, but he had to jump out of his crouch.
I can't give him a pass ball on that. Yeah, that's got to be a wild pitch. No question. Mondesi, just go ahead and rip third off. Get him over there, give Alex a better chance to get him home.
One and two. So there you go, 347 against Minnesota, and he's driven in 9 in the 12 games.
Down the count here, 1 and 2, just shorten up, just try to find a hole.
Oh, there goes Mondesi, as you predicted. Adrianza goes into foul ground and makes a 2-hand grab, and Mondesi's back to second base.
Mondesi was trying to get a read on him, but you know, if you want to steal in that situation, steal before you get to 2 strikes on Alex. Because then it's a little bit of a distraction with Alex to try to hit with 2 strikes and a guy he's never faced before. Oh well. Still in scoring position.
Hunter Dozier with 2 down. Big breaking ball is down and in for ball 1. He's a subject of our Kubota Power Stats tonight. Over the past 2 weeks, hard hit percentage. And if you're over 40%, that's considered excellent. And Dozier and O'Hearn are over 60%. One ball, 1 strike. Dozier's over at first base tonight with the lefty on the mound. O'Hearn is not in the starting lineup.
Dozier hitting 241 off the southpaws, no homers.
Nice catch by the ball boy over the right field side. Hunter Dozier in his first 35 games had 4 RBIs. And now in his last 13, he has 11 and 4 home runs.
Doing it without thinking. Just going up there and having a little bit more natural reaction to the ball.
Mondesi runs again, and that's lined over the Twins dugout. We're showing you the Major League stolen base leaders since the All-Star break, and Mondesi is tied with 3 others, but he has played in far fewer games than Whit Merrifield, Trey Turner, and Trevor Story. He is not running, and Gonzalez turns and gives him a look. Got him with a slider down and in. Odyssey is stranded at second base. The Twins will get a look at right-hander Heath Fillmyer tonight. You can either see who is in there or who isn't. No Eduardo Escobar, Brian Dozier, Logan Morrison, Byron Buxton, Miguel Sano. They are either traded or injured. But the Twins do get Eddie Rosario back. He had been out with a thigh injury, and he is playing for the first time in September. And for the Twins, this will be the second time they've seen Heath Fillmyer this year.
Yep, and if he's anything like he's been his last two, he's going to be a handful for the Twins. Really pounds the strike zone, works it down, and also that slider has been an important pitch for him, especially in his last two starts. It's way up with 31.9% of usage. Likes to use that to strike him out and get ahead. He's got a good fastball. Uses it all over the four quadrants of the strike zone, but mainly down. He's a ground ball pitcher.
And that is usually a free strike when you're facing Joe Mauer. He swings at the first pitch 4.2% of the time.
Go ahead, get ahead of him then. Because he can be tough any other pitches, though, especially opposite field.
And throughout his big league career, and it's been a long big league career, even when he was a rookie, it was pretty clear that he is not afraid to hit with two strikes.
Prolific.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Our Toyota league leaders. He has passed Rod Carew as a Twin on their all-time hit list. Rod Carew did go on to get 3,000 hits. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The question is this it for Joe Mauer? His long, expensive contract comes to an end after this year. Many wonder, has he had enough? Have the Twins had enough of him? Or will he come back another year?
It'll be interesting. I bet it's his call. Of course, it'll be at a much more team-friendly price.
called. Third strike. Maurer thought it was low. And Kerwin Danley rings him up. 1 away.
Check it out. There it is. That's a good hard sinker. That's below the knees. He thought it, but you know what though? Maurer, you got to go. Philmeyer working it. Forward around the horn. Royals defense out there. Whit Merrifield in center. There he is. He's out there for the 21st start. And Salvador Perez, he's back after a week's layoff. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Called strike on Jorge Polanco. He's been taking swings, and he's been catching balls off of a batting practice machine to test that left thumb.
And you know, you would think that he hurt his thumb catching because it's on that hand, but Ned said he didn't hit it swinging.
Yeah, had an awkward swing that just somehow bent that left thumb backward. 1-1 on Polanco. 2 hops to Dozier. He'll take it to the bag himself. And there are 2 away. The Twins got a little snapshot of Philmeyer about a month ago. He went 3 innings and gave up 3 runs. It was a short start because of an 1.5-hour rain delay. So it's not the first time they've seen Philmeyer, but they didn't get to see very much of him. And they certainly haven't seen what the Cubs saw, the Indians saw, and what the Orioles saw. Here's Eddie Rosario, who's been out since August the 30th with a strained right quad. That's outside for ball 1.
Well, of the many positive things about Philmeyer, one of them I like is that he's able to finish off innings. You know, when he gets 2 outs, you know, just the opponents are hitting 167 with 2 outs. Here it is right here.
Mondesi throws back, and man, what a play.
That was special.
He absolutely ripped off Rosario. That ball was headed for center field until Adalberto Mondesi got in the way.
Oh, man, you want range? Come on, how about arm strength? Quick release. That was a beauty.
Wrong for the Twins this year. Here's one of them. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. Twins got 5 starts from Irvin Santana. He had surgery on finger on his right hand during the offseason, and it took a long time for him to come back from that, and he's back on the DL again. Injuries, underachievement. You name it. It's all gone wrong for them this year.
And it wasn't supposed to.
No.
A lot different year than coming in for the Royals. We kind of had an idea we were going to have to find out about a bullpen, and there were some things that we already knew was going to happen. But it's a much tougher situation for the fan base. And right here, Minnesota.
3-1 on Bonifacio. In on him, but he's able to muscle it into center field for a leadoff single.
Yeah, that hitting it hard statistic, it looks impressive. Sometimes it's overrated when you're hitting atom balls. There you go. That's how you hit it soft. And keep your bat intact. Didn't break it.
And now Salvador Perez, who is hitting balls into the upper deck in left field during batting practice. And they'll be watching every one of his swings to see if that left thumb is bothering him. Here at Target Field, he has hit the most home runs in history by a visiting player, and that slugging percentage is the best for anybody, Twin or visiting player. Up and away again. It's really hard, isn't it, to simulate game speed, and he can take swings off the tee. He can take swings during batting practice on pitches that are probably right down the middle of the plate, but you take an off balance swing or swing at a pitch that's out of the strike zone, it's going to give you a little different feel.
Sure is. Live game speed. Whole different ball game. He just missed two.
Did he miss that one? Rosario is back, and he did just miss it.
Darn it. I thought that was heading for the front row. Just missed it, but I like the swings he had previous too. He's got a couple good swings on him, and he just missed it. Great passes.
So one out, and now Rosel Herrera, who played in just one game in the Royals Indian series, and that was Wednesday afternoon. With the left-hand pitcher on the mound, he goes to second base, and Whit Merrifield goes to center.
Got more power from the right side, just haven't seen it yet.
Bonifacio is out. 1-3-6. Taking a gamble there and going on first movement.
Hadn't seen his move. Now they have. He just.
Actually, he wasn't going on first movement.
He got picked off by a lefty that waited and used the move when he needed to, and he got it. Work paid off.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
So he looks like he has a good one. The problem some left-handers get into is they love their move and they show it and they throw over every time. You want to save that good move until you need an out, and then you go get it, show it to him.
And I brought this up before. Bob McClure, the former Royal and Royals pitching coach who had a great move, used to say, you don't pick off the great base stealers, you pick off the guys who think you've completely forgotten about them. And Bonifacio, he'll steal some bases eventually.
Watch Bonifacio flinch here. He was not going first movement. He's looking home even. Hello, surprise.
He has not attempted a stolen base all year. So as Bob McClure would say, those are the guys that you pick off. Not the ones who spend an hour studying your move.
premium base dealer.
Three and two. Inside for ball four.
As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game.
It's not a big sample size, but he's had some issues with walks so far.
Yep, there they are. Those are basics. Now, fastball, changeup are the combinations usually against the righty. He'll drop a slider down there. Depends on how accomplished he is with that field pitch, the changeup. But it's hard for a left-hander at this level to make a living and have a long career without a changeup. You got to have one of those. Because if it's thrown properly, it comes out of the same arm speed as a fastball, and it's a real balance breaker for the hitter.
Down to third, Adrianza will go for the force at second to get Herrera and put an end to the top of the second inning.
First time since late August. Joel Goldberg back here at Target Field, and talking to Salvador today, this is important to him. We know, we've said it for years, that he just wants to play every day. He loves the game, but having missed the start of the season with that freak knee injury, with the luggage, he really wants to be able to catch 100 games this year. That is a goal of his at this point. Talking to head trainer Nick Kenny, he said, look, this is not an injury that is going to just heal on its own. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks. This is all about putting him in a place where he can play, protecting that injury, and it's not better, but just getting him to a point where he can get out there and play. Nick fitted him with a, what do you call it, like a hard plastic brace to protect that thumb. It's the hitting that really affects him. And who knows, guys? It didn't look like it had affected him, or then again, maybe in other situations, that ball is out of here. We don't know, but we know this much. Injury or not, Salvi wants him.
He just missed it. I liked it. He said he's playing hurt, and, you know, players, an organization's not going to let a marquee player like Salvador play if he's going to risk any more injury. Top-notch training staff here.
Those thumb injuries, they will linger the entire season. And I've heard it happen so many times to a hitter who's has a season that is below his norm, and then you find out at the end of the year something was bothering him. And when it's a thumb, as Joel said, there's no taking a few days off and getting over that. That takes weeks.
Sure
if
does.
not months.
Yep. Anything in the hand for a hitter, you got problems.
And then, as you pointed out, I mean, if you have a bad left thumb and you're a catcher, that's never going to heal.
No. It's wear and tear every pitch.
1-2 on Forsythe. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had a couple of second basemen who are trending in the same direction. Logan Forsythe when he was with the Rays, and Brian Dozier here in Minnesota. Guys not known for their power early in their career, all of a sudden had a big spike. Dozier continued his trend. Forsythe did not. In 2015, he hit 17. The slugging percentage went up. Okay, can you do it again? And he hit 20, and then was traded to the Dodgers and started heading in the opposite direction, and also had some injuries. No, that was called a strike to Joe Mauer, who is taller than Forsythe. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's the exact same pitch.
So leadoff man on to Jake Cave. And that's called a strike. Well, among the things that we were talking about that have gone wrong for Minnesota, they were expecting a huge breakout season from Byron Buxton. And that just never happened. He had 3 different injuries, and he will not play again in the big leagues this year, but it's created an opportunity for Jake Cave. No balls, 2 strikes.
It has. I mean, very unfortunate. Their Platinum Glove winner last year, one of the best seasons a center fielder's ever had, and just the next year wouldn't work offensively.
Buxton had a concussion. He had a broken toe, a hand injury. Into left center field, and Merrifield wants it. 1 out. I can't imagine, HUD, a worst case scenario for a manager than what Paul Molitor is going through right now. A team with big expectations. And last year, Minnesota became the first team in Major League history to lose 100 games one year and go to the playoffs the next year. So here in Minnesota, they thought it was only logical for them to go to the next step. So you have the expectations to win, and you don't, and then you start trading away all of your good and veteran players at the deadline, and you got some players publicly upset because they feel like the front office gave up on them. Oh, and by the way, you have 2 more months left to play.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario for any manager.
So their everyday third baseman, one of their right-hand setup men, their left-hand setup men, a starter, Lance Lynn, who really didn't do much here, and then really who's become the face of the franchise, Brian Dozier, traded away.
So their offseason will be like, okay, where do we go? Who are we going to keep?
And you still, I mean, you still really don't know what you've got in Buxton. you really don't know yet what you have in Miguel Sano. Two balls and one strike on Mitch Garver, and he's gotten a chance to play. Jason Castro, their regular catcher, had knee surgery early in the season and was done for the year.
I thought Escobar was one of their best players.
Past Mondesi and into left field. Forsythe stops at second base. Minnesota has 2 on with 1 out.
Mondesi, he got to that hard smash. I mean, his range is impeccable, man. Great range, but the ball's elevated just a little, and it just went under his glove. He had it covered. Getting close to rolling up that double play. That's one of Phil Myers' traits. He puts him in the lane with the best of them.
Max Kepler takes a strike. Here are the numbers to support that. Only 2 other pitchers in the major leagues have more ground ball double plays than Phil Meyer, with fewer than 60 innings. 1-1 on Kepler. He's really tailed off since the All-Star break. He was putting a career season together, but in his last 28 games he is hitting .170. 2 on with 1 out. Popped up.
Uh-oh.
Infield fly rule, and Escobar makes a play, and Hud's goes back to his playing days for the Sky this time of night.
Yeah, look at Esky. He's saying, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
You know, we talk about when you lose the ball, there's really nothing you can do when it's in the sun, or if you lose it in the twilight. But I'll say this, there is some skill to have a feel when the ball's off the bat, of having an idea of the area where it's going to land.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a little bit easier twilight than a bright sky, sunny day. I mean, really can be difficult.
But wouldn't you agree that the players that do find it in the twilight or in the glare, that there's some skill to have an idea of where to go and assuming
with experience
where it's going to land?
No question.
Because I mean, we see some guys lose it in the twilight or in the sun, and they're 20 feet away from it.
You're right. It just depends on where you lose track of it. Infielders are going to be able to track the ball a little bit easier than the outfielders.
Hud brought up Phil Myers' ability to get the 3rd out, pitching well with 2 outs, and especially with runners in scoring position in 2 outs.
Anytime you have a good risk average against you, so that's one thing, but man, right when they're trying to keep a 2-out rally going, that's another thing. Shut them down.
How about the movement on that pitch?
Yeah, Grossman, he's a good hitter. Hitting 280 with a runner in scoring position.
Three and 2. He laid off that high fastball, and he has been very good this year, swinging an elevated fastball. So the Royals are aware of that and threw him an elevated fastball, but tried to tempt him with one that was up and out of the strike zone. runners take off, and that is ball 4. Phil Myers walked 2, and they're loaded up for the number 9 hitter. Ere Adrianza.
That might have not been a bad walk at all right there. You got a number 9 hitter. He's never seen him before. Grossman's a little bit more accomplished.
Shallow center field. Witt's coming up, and it's going to drop, and now it skips behind him. And 2-run score on a bloop to center field by Adrianza.
Well, just when you thought that he was going to get out of the inning with a little lazy fly ball, turns out not. Whitley had just a slight delay in picking it up and reading it, and by then it had no chance to catch it. So a little doinker. Ends up hurting Phil Myers.
And now 2 runners in scoring position for Joe Mauer. Grossman's at third. Adrianza is at second. Joe Mauer is tied for the major league lead hitting with runners in scoring position with J.D. Martinez. But if you look at the bottom, Martinez has 115 RBIs. Mauer has 39.
Yep. He has a lot more power too. And there's more guys on. Red Sox are the best hitting offenses in baseball. But Mauer, he's not going to pull for power. He's going to hit to the opposite field. He's got a few homers, but he's not quite there as far as power goes with Martinez.
To Mondesi, and so it's 2 for Minnesota on the bloop single by Adrianza. Big ballpark and a good chance for a triple. And when the Royals hit a triple, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Cam Gallagher bats ninth. He is the DH tonight with Salvador Perez back in the lineup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cam was 1 out of 8 in the Indian series. Got underneath it. And Rosario comes up from left field. 1 down.
Bring your 4-legged Royals fans to the game on Wednesday with a special theme ticket for our last Bark at the Park of the season. Purchase your tickets at royals.com/theme tickets in order to receive a Royals branded dog tag. Don't miss it.
Witt opened the game with a line out back to Gonsalves. So he is 0 for 14 on this trip. There have been several line drives for outs mixed in. There's his first base hit. And it's the Royals' 3rd hit, all singles against Gonsalves.
Fastball outer half. Witt hits for such a high average that he uses the whole field. You give him that, he'll take it. Coming in hitting 360 off of lefties. 5 homers, got some pop.
And I'd say just about every right-hand batter who has numbers like that against lefties get hits just like Witt got.
Exactly.
Mondesi wanted to bunt, and he takes low. He had a single into right center field first time up.
Yeah, in Mondesi, he's going to continue to bunt, and that's important that he does that. He's prolific, young hitter, no doubt. He's going to be a real good hitter. He's got a nice idea right now, but when he continues to bunt, he brings in the corners. It shortens up the field for him. It opens up avenues for him to get base hits from both sides of the plate, and it's a great way to continue to get on base and pad your average. It's just a weapon. If you have it, use it. Don't not use it.
One and one. On to see. Looked like he turned away in frustration there, that he let that pitch get by him.
Yeah, he has the ability to tie it in with one swing.
Two and one. Gonsalves is big, and he really uses his height to create a downward angle, so he can be tough to elevate. He is considered one of the Twins' top pitching prospects. He was a 3rd-round pick 5 years ago out of high school in San Diego. 2 years ago, he was their minor league pitcher of the year, and this is what he did at AA and AAA this year. Three and two. Alex Gordon waits on deck.
Gonzalez thinks he can beat him with a fastball. He's going to keep in there. He beat him that last pitch there. I bet he comes back with one.
A little snap throw, and Maurer back to his catching days. Pulled it out of the dirt.
Haven't seen many young left-handers in this division with good pickoff moves, and it looks like he's got one. Gonzalez. He's got the step-off move to go with it.
Mondesi is on with a walk. And that's Gonzalez's second walk tonight. It is his 12th walk in 12 1/3 innings. That's not a big sample size. It's only 4 games. But that's a lot for a guy who doesn't strike out many. And now Alex, he fouled out to the third baseman Adrianza in the first inning. Alex in the second half has been hitting the ball to all fields, and yet the Twins still see him as a pull hitter. Statcast AI powered by AWS.
They got Forsythe right there thinking he will, but it's a good opportunity for the two base stealers to rip off a bag as well. And do it early.
One and one. They're aware.
Yep. They have their attention. Terry Bradshaw was telling me before the game, the Royals hitting coach, about Alex and how freed up Alex is. And I said, I can tell by looking at him. He's freed up. He's loose. His hands and arms are loose.
There they go, and that's driven to the wall in right field. Merrifield scores. Here comes Mondesi, and Alex Gordon drives in 2 more runs against the Twins this year. That's 11 on the season, and he ties the game at 2.
Yeah, nicely done. Fellas were on the move. They were running on the play, but they could just keep on going. Alex was able to hook him, and he's only hitting 160 off of lefties, but recently it doesn't matter who's throwing it, what arm they're throwing out of. He's been nailing it. Biggest part, Bradshaw was telling me, is the mind. The mind is allowing the hands and the muscles to do the work now. He's not blocking it. Sometimes, you know, the hitters, they all think too much at times, and now Alex is totally free. He's playing his game, wide open, full throttle. Big stroke there.
And now it's 2-0 on Hunter Dozier. Gonzalez got him with a slider in the first inning. And we showed you when Hunter batted in the first inning that over the last 2 weeks, Dozier has the hardest, or the highest, hard hit rate among major leaguers. 3-0.
Give the green light if he likes it. One of the things that I'm seeing from Gonzalez is not very hard velocity. It's not, to me, it looks like he's not, doesn't have an overpowering pitch. Right at there, 90 miles an hour. That's a good hitting speed if you can get one. Let him have a green light here.
And not the pitch that he wanted, and it's ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning, and now 3 in the game for the young lefty. And he's going to have a chat with his catcher, Mitch Garver. And now here comes his pitching coach, Garvin Alston.
2 on, 1 out. Jorge Bonifacio's coming up. There are 2 more Gordo Nations at Kauffman Stadium. For just $35, you get a ticket in left field right behind Alex, a Gordo Big Head, and a premium Gordo Nation t-shirt. So that'll be this upcoming Thursday against the Minnesota Twins, and then the 27th against the Indians. 2 more Gordo Nations left.
It's pretty good. For $35 to get you a ticket into a big league game and a t-shirt. It costs $40 usually.
Bonifacio single to center field in the 2nd inning. In the dirt, ball 1.
Keep the line moving.
Alan Buznitz is warming up, and warming up in a hurry.
Want to stay away from a double play in this situation. Think right field. And if he gets one into you, then bust it. Hope they don't catch it.
One ball, 1 strike. The Royals have 12 pitchers listed in their bullpen. The Twins have 14.
Plenty of arms.
So you can go to your bullpen early the rest of the year and not have to worry about wearing out your bullpen.
Early and often.
And on his hands, and it's over Adrianza. That'll get Alex to the plate. Dozier goes first to third, and Jorge Bonifacio gives the Royals a 3-2 lead.
That's it. Got him a pitch in he could handle, and instead of hitting it on the ground, he got up enough over his head to pick up another stake and continue the rally. Yeah, that's way in on it. Wow. That ball was 5 inches off the inside part of the plate. So that's 2 jam shots off of Bonifacio's bat that have both worked. I think we've seen enough.
Yeah, here comes Paul Molitor with the hook. So Gonzalez gave up 1 hit in the first, a single and a walk in the second, and then he got the first batter in this inning. But the last 5 have reached.
All the pitchers you mentioned, Molly says I'm going with somebody else.
A Chevy call to the bullpen with 1 out in the 3rd. By T-Mobile.
Alex Gordon not messing around. Didn't matter lefty or righty. He's going to do the job, and he picked up 2 big ribbies to tie it up. Bonifacio said, hey, look, I'm going to stay on my jam shot theme and don't hit it so hard, but just get it over their head just enough. Nicely done. They're not done either, speaking of done.
And Now they're facing a pitcher who has an opponent's batting average that is over 300. Busnitz does have 23 strikeouts in 22 2/3 innings. And he'll get Salvador Perez with runners at first and third and 1 out. Dozier is reached with a walk. He's at third. Bonifacio just drove in Gordon. He's at first.
Yeah, you know, Molitor couldn't bear the sight of that young lefty Gonzalez facing Salvador Perez, who almost took him deep first time up. He says, I'm not letting this happen. Who's this? Fastball curve change. Big 12-6 curve.
There it is, and it stayed up. 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. One of the biggest issues for the Royals before the All-Star break was ground ball double plays. Stopped one rally after another, and while the Royals have hit much better in the second half, that's a category they've avoided, and that is driven deep to left center field and gone. And Salvador Perez hits his 17th career home run at Target Field. The most by a visiting player in the history of this ballpark.
Woohoo! Man, oh man, he aired it out. That's right. He's been looking forward to coming back and playing here at Target Field after his layoff he had with his thumb injury, and he took that 97 with a short, easy swing, and he just delivered in the bullpen. You could tell it was well struck, and I'm sure it was 100+ velo exit velo. Good swing.
So the last 6 have reached, and the last 6 have scored. So right after Minnesota got 2 in the bottom of the second, the Royals answer with a half dozen and lead 6-2. One ball, 1 strike on Rosell Herrera.
Look at Salvi. See, he's got a cast like on that thumb. That's a plaster, really a hard plastic type thing that protects that thumb, and he wraps it every time with some special wrap. I saw him working on it before the game for batting practice. I'll tell you what, he almost hit a homer his first time up. Just missed it.
And the Twins are running out of answers, or solutions, I should say, with Salvi. Doesn't matter who they put out there. Of his 17 home runs here, it's been against 16 different pitchers. So it's not like he's picking on a few guys.
He owns the ballpark.
Yep. You could put the hot dog vendor out there. And Herrera takes ball 4. And here comes a 9th man in the inning. Alcides Escobar. There is still only 1 out. The last 7 have reached for the Royals.
Always a welcomed sight to see these late runs in an inning like this. Getting into the bullpen, busting him too.
And now that gets away from Garver, and there goes a chance for a ground ball and a double play. It's a wild pitch. Key a drive to success, and maybe this is the result of Eski not playing every single day at this stage of his career, getting a chance to rest and refresh. Over his last 22 games, he's batting right around 340.
Yeah, and he's not used to getting any kind of rest ever. This year he has, especially the second half. Ned's pretty much convinced him that his everyday playing days could be over, and maybe he can accept the role as a utility player and play a few more years.
And he's at third base tonight. One and two. Phil Myers happy with what his offense has done for him in the third inning, but it's going to be a long layoff for him. And Eski squirts it up the first base line. Mauer dives and gets a glove on it, but that's all he can do. He saves a run by keeping it on the infield, but now the Royals have had 8 straight reach.
Nicely done. I'll tell you, he really did alter. That's a booty knock for sure. You throw the backside out, you got a little, you're off balance, but you're able to find a hole. That's perfect. Eski can walk into first.
And now Ryan O'Hearn becomes the designated hitter with a right-hand pitcher on the mound. Cam Gallagher started this inning with a fly out to left field, and now the last 8 have reached base. 6 have scored. Fouled back to the screen by O'Hearn. Ryan had 4 hits, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs against the Indians. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's a pretty good little snappy curve when he keeps it down. O'Hearn 1 for 1 in his career as a pinch hitter, and it was a homer.
Gabriel Moya is ready to go. Royals have a switch hitter, Mondesi, 2 batters down the road, and then left-hand hitting Alex Gordon, if the inning goes that far. O'Hearn chases a fastball up at 96. So the number 9 position in the order. Sometimes, Hud, we say the guy makes the first and last out of the inning.
Yeah.
How about the same spot made the first and second out of the inning?
That's highly unusual. Very rare.
And now here's Witt. He snapped an 0 for 14 on this road trip with a 1-out single, and that was the beginning of the 6-run rally. Outside from Busnitz. One ball, 1 strike. 5 of the 6 runs are charged to the starter Gonzalez. And now both men on base here are the responsibility of Alan Busnitz. That curveball hangs high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fastball at 96, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This has been a familiar theme for Minnesota in the second half. They have really struggled on the mound, and in their last 20 games, their collective ERA is just under 6. And now they've given up 6, and we're not even done with the 3rd inning. Caught by Mauer, and that was probably going to be a foul ball, but he was on the bag holding Escobar, so he was in the right place at the right time. But the Royals send 11 to the plate. Salvador Perez hits a 3-run home run in a 6-run 3rd. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Alex Gordon drives in 2. Salvador Perez drives in 3. And Jorge Bonifacio had an RBI in the Royals' 6-run 3rd inning. And we'll see how Philmeyer bounces back after the long layoff. Might take him a pitch or 2 or a batter or 2 to get his rhythm back. Maybe not. Bunted. And down by 4. The Royals gave him the left side of the infield, and Polanco says, "Thank you, I'll take it." And he is 1 for 2.
Beautiful. Really good touch. Disguises it late. Escobar had absolutely no chance. That's just perfectly placed. And that's what you want to do. You got to get some runners on. You want to get back into it.
Eddie Rosario grounded out in the defensive play of the game, made by Mondesi in the 1st inning. Low for ball 1.
We just got to talking about Philmeyer, how he can get that last out with 2 outs. And I'm thinking there's no way he's going to get that, and he did. That was just beautiful how he got to it, and the transfer from glove to hand, his throwing stroke, all perfect.
I was thinking after that play, we don't see every shortstop. This year we saw the shortstops in the National League Central, but who else makes that play in the American League?
Well, Lindor's got pretty good range.
I'm not saying there aren't other good shortstops with good range, but that is exceptional range.
It is. It's quick too. He's got really quick feet.
Simmons with the Angels.
Yep, he's the perennial Gold Glover.
Two and one. Three balls, one strike.
Well, you know, after you get your team rallies for you like that, get you a lot of runs, you want to get right back in there. Get them back in that dugout. Keep the momentum on your side. Don't walk. Start walking people. Get it right in there. Let him swing it.
Fastball by him.
That's it. Challenge him. Make him put that ball in play.
Rosario's been out since the end of August with a strained right quad, and you could tell he wasn't running at 100% when he grounded out. And he swings late and shoots it to the left side. And the Twins have two on with nobody out.
Yep, down the middle. He's trying to do that the whole way. You could see he was looking on that side. He saw a few holes over there. Got the perfect pitch to do it. Shoot it right over.
A couple of scratch hits, and it was a scratch hit, a bloop hit by Adrianza with two down in the second inning that put Minnesota on the board. And now Forsythe to open that inning with a walk. Breaking ball for a strike. Well, this is hardly the same situation. The Royals have a 4-run lead. There's two on with nobody out. But remember, in Phil Myers' last start, he faced the bases loaded and nobody out. Also early in the game. One ball, one strike, and he gave up just the one run and then retired 8 of the next 10. So he's shown that in his last few starts that he can keep an inning from getting away from him.
Yeah, and this is a good characteristic. We've also seen Brad Keller do the same kind of thing. You're able to escape. You know what that is that's just a good demeanor, good mound presence, they call that. Staying in control, not letting things speed up on you and get carried away like a lot of young pitchers have a hard time with that.
Two balls, two strikes. The one exception was a start in Chicago. And remember, ironically, The Royals had just scored 6 against the White Sox. And in the next half inning, the White Sox scored 6.
Yeah.
Philmeyer just couldn't shut the door. And now the count goes from 1-2 to 3-2 on Forsythe. Two starts ago, Philmeyer balked in a run. Remember that, right? And he was able to put that behind him. Big pitch. Grounded back to the middle, and that's into center field. So a bunt single and 2 ground ball singles. Minnesota gets a run back. It is 6-3 and still 2 on and nobody out.
Just got the top of the ball and able to give that ball top spin on it and was able to get through. 2-3 hopper. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. That's all it took. It seemed like one of them could have got that, knocked it down. But good effort.
That'll bring up Jake Cave, who is out in a fly ball to center field in the second inning. Oh, and 1. Twins got Jake Cave from the Yankees organization. And at the time, didn't see him as becoming their regular center fielder, but that's what happened when Buxton went down. 1 ball, 1 strike. A bunt single and 2 ground ball singles for the Twins. Right after the Royals scored 6 in the top of the 3rd. Another ground ball, and that's pulled foul, 1-2.
And, you know, Molitor made a pitching change. What do you say, 15 minutes maybe? 20 minutes in between innings? Maybe if that kind of took took his momentum away. And now he's starting over again. Team gives you a big lead like that, don't let him back in it. He has putting a good enough skills to stop that.
That's lined into left center field, and that's going to sail to the wall. Another run scores. Forsythe is held at 3rd, and Jake Cave has an RBI double, and now it is 6-4 with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
Cave hitting his 12th double, couldn't have split the gap any better. Took that pitch on the outer half, 93, and just went with it. Good easy swing. No chance for Alex.
And now it'll be Cal Eldred coming out for a chat. Well, you can chalk the first 3 hits up to some bad fortune. Number 1, Polanco with the bunt single, which with a 4-run lead and nobody on base, they were going to give him that. And Rosario hit the weak ground ball to the open left side of the infield. Forsythe hits that ball 1 foot to the right or left. Could be a ground ball double play, but Jake Cave drives one to the wall in left center field. So Cal Eldred feels like it's time to go out there and get him reset before he faces Mitch Garver. He singled to left and scored in the 2nd.
Nobody out. He has a chance to help himself here.
Outside for ball one. Well, what do you want a guy to do right after a team scores 6? Throw strikes, keep the ball on the ground. And he did that with the first 3 hitters.
Yep. So really, they're just moving past that and letting it go. Stay steady. Steady ahead.
And now 3 balls and no strikes. Now Heath is 1 pitch away from loading the bases with nobody out. Got him to chase one up and out of the strike zone. Three and two.
It's a way to get back in it. Just try to challenge him down there again. Maybe he pops it up, hits it right at somebody, get it out. And it's a good way to learn from getting into a hole like this and burying yourself in the inning. You can get yourself out of it here by coming back in this one, down 3-0.
And he got a ground ball. Mondesi will play it to first. The Royals get an out. Minnesota gets a run. And it is 6-5 with a runner at third and 1 out.
Yeah, that was it. He came right back in there, threw it in the bottom part of the zone, was able to get it out of it. And anyway, well, the infield's going to come in, try to help him out. Looks like they're creeping back now.
Kepler popped out to Escobar at third in the second inning. That pop up will land in the seats. Cave is the runner at third. He has doubled in a run. Forsythe has an RBI and Garver has an RBI. Minnesota got 2 in the second. And the Royals got 6 in the third. And now the Twins have 3 in the third. 0-2. Salvador Perez is telling Phil Meyer, slow down, calm down. And they're going to try and get him with a high fastball. And that's off of Salvi's glove, and he can't find it. And Minnesota ties the game with his 4th run in the bottom of the third.
Well, Jake Cave, he was bouncing around down there at third base, and Salvador Perez had a pickoff on with Escobar, and you can see he was going to throw, and he just didn't catch it before. That's too bad. Pass ball. Hate to see that. They were going to throw behind the third base over there, try to pick him off.
2-2.
Just took his eye off.
Kepler has hit under 170 in the last month. Three balls, two strikes. All of this started with what looked like a harmless bunt single right after the Royals scored 6 runs. And now Kepler is on with a walk, and at one point he was down, no balls, 2 strikes. So now it's Ned Yost going to his bullpen in the 3rd inning.
Well, you know what? He just can't get the ship righted. He gave him an opportunity. Just like Molitor, he's like, you know what? That's all. Got too many other arms out there.
Kevin McCarthy is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Want to have a rough inning, and that's right after his offense gives him 6 runs, and you can tell he is boiling mad on the inside.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned it when he took the mound right after that long inning, 15-20 minute inning. You wondered if he'd have any gas left, or if he regain his momentum, and he couldn't do it.
So Kevin McCarthy comes on with a runner at first base and 1 out. And he'll get the switch hitter Robbie Grossman. And there's a ground ball out at second, and no double play. It really wasn't hit very hard, but Kepler, the lead runner, is out. 2 away. Now, frustrating thing for Philmeyer, it's one thing if he just got ripped right away after that inning, but it was a bunt single and 2 softly hit, well-placed ground balls. So there was some bad fortune there, but then the double by Cave and the walk to Kepler after Kepler was down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's just the way the game of baseball is.
And now Adrianza, who's driven in 2 tonight, tried to bunt his way on.
McCarthy going to work the ground balls. He's a ground ball sinker, slider, change curve pitcher. Another day off yesterday. I mean, everybody's well rested.
One ball, 1 strike.
That's a lively sinker there.
2-1 on Adrianza. Three balls, one strike. It's been a while since McCarthy has pitched. Got to go back to Sunday. And with the Royals leading big against the Orioles, he came on and had a 9-pitch 1-2-3 ninth inning to help clinch that sweep of the Orioles. 3-2. It's a good problem to have, but the Royals had a run through their starting rotation where the starters are going 7 and 8 innings. Runner goes, and a slow roller is hit out to Dozier, and he'll go to the bag and end the inning. Minnesota answers the Royals 6 with 4 in the bottom of the third to tie the game.
Spotlight, and once again a win for the Lexington Legends as they have advanced to the Sally League Championship, paced tonight by one of the Royals' top draft picks this year, Daniel Lynch, the big lefty out of Virginia. 4 shutout innings following up what Jackson Coar, their second overall pick, did in game 1. And guys, if you look at his last number of outings tonight, 0 earned runs. Last time, 1 earned run. Before that, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. This guy has been dealing for weeks now, and the Royals are thrilled with his progress.
Wow. A lot of zeros. That works in this game.
There have not been many zeros tonight, however. It is 6-6 to the 4th inning, and this is already Minnesota's 3rd pitcher. Gabriel Moya, a lefty, with Mondesi, Gordon, and Dozier coming up.
Yeah, he's that lefty that we were comparing him with Al Rabowski and a couple of those guys that have, you know, little herky-jerky type of delivery. Just 23 years young. Fastball, slider, changeup. His changeup's his best pitch.
Cutting fastball is high to Mondesi. He has a single, a walk, and he scored in the 6-run 3rd inning. One and one. Mondesi, who can hit for power, also has a good feel for leading off an inning. So there you go, over 1,000 with his OPS leading off an inning. Had a pretty good rip at a hanging slider.
I could see him hitting leadoff in the future. Can you?
Especially if he continues to bunt and bunt for hits. He's showing bunt quite a bit. He's not getting a lot of hits at the moment. Well, hesitation there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We were just in Cleveland, and it reminded me of those really good Indians teams. And remember, they had Lofton, Vizquel, and Alomar were the top 3 hitters. They could all hit. They could all bunt. I mean, it was grueling mentally just to get through those 3 guys. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And then when you did get through them, well, then Tomey and Ramirez and Bell,
Juan Gonzalez.
Now you got to deal with those guys.
It wasn't fun. But you know, Mondesi, he could walk more. He walked you for just his 6th time earlier tonight.
Tapped out in front of the plate, and Garver, all he had to do was take the mask off and pick it up. 1 out in the 4th inning. Alex Gordon drove in 2 in the 6-run 3rd with a double to right field. So Alex has 11 RBIs in 13 games against the Twins this season. Oh and 1. No swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got him to hook a low pitch. 1 and 2. Well, just watching Moya, and not that a pitcher needs to light up the radar gun, but he certainly does not. So all that herky-jerky movement is something a pitcher of his style needs. Something to distract the hitter and throw off his timing. I mean, he comes at you like he's going to throw 97.
Yeah, and you know, that's just a developed delivery that he's morphed into, and it works. He wouldn't be at this level if it didn't work. When a guy has a quick, fast twitch delivery like that, you really got to concentrate on where the ball's coming from.
Three and 2. Garvin Alston is in his first year as the Twins pitching coach. He replaced Neil Allen, who's from Kansas City, Kansas. The Royals scored 6 last inning. 5 are charged to Minnesota's young lefty Steven Gonsalves, and then 1 charged to Alan Busnitz. Paul Molitor is down to his last 12 relievers. Still 3-2.
I like his chances of getting through the game. Now, but that last swing by Alex, it's a good little synopsis of what he's been doing lately. That pitch there was directed towards down the left field line by Alex. A good swing, just hitting it where it's pitched.
And Alex is on with a 1-out walk.
That's the other thing that Bradshaw was telling me. Alex is getting his walks. When a hitter is in a groove and he's walking, he's seeing more pitches, he's much more confident.
But even though walks are glorified much more now than they used to be, to tie into on-base percentage, a good hitter is not up there looking for a walk.
Nope.
And you're not walking on strikes. You're walking on pitches that are out of the strike zone. That'll be the second out of the inning, and the second time Garver has thrown out a runner at first base.
No, but you're seeing pitches. You know, you're not just going up there flailing and bailing. He had a good idea. He's competing in his at-bats is what he's saying. He's not just up there looking for a walk. He's competing, and he won the at-bat by walking. With that, confidence is going sky high for him. He's in a good place.
Bonifacio has 2 hits and an RBI. .76 miles an hour, ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Bonifacio is not just getting more hits over his last 2 weeks, breaking out of a deep slump, but getting hits that matter. And with his RBI single in the 3rd inning, he has 7 hits in his last 16 at bats with a runner in scoring position. And he has Gordon at second base with 2 outs. Two and 1. Three balls, 1 strike.
Wasn't working. The changeup is the pitch he likes to get hitters to roll over and pull over that ball and top it.
Bonifacio walks with Salvador Perez on deck, and both runners in the 4th inning have reached with a walk.
And just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Hold True moment. Salvador Perez stepped up for his second at-bat tonight. He saw a curveball first pitch from Alan Buznes. Got another curve. Said, well, I can get him out. But can you stick a piece of cheese by Salvi? Not at Target Field, you can't. That ball was tattered and battered and not walking. Beautiful home run for Salvador Perez, his 24th on the season.
Ouch.
So those off-speed pitches that hurt.
Well, that's a good sign right there. When Salvi turned and walked toward the dugout after the bat came out of his hand, it's good to see that all he wanted was a little extra adhesive on the handle.
Yeah, and with all that tape on the thumb there, and it's got that little mini cast on it, I mean, it's got to be tough. Especially your bottom hand. Bottom hand does all the work. top hand follows.
And like some hitters do, Hud, he doesn't even have his whole hand on the bat. He's got a finger or two dangling over the knob.
Yeah, it's
right on that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Some hitters feel like they have more bat speed, more whipping action when the knob is near their ring or middle finger. Still 0-2. We brought up many times how Nick Kenny, Royals head trainer, is very in tune with all the different pitchers' motions and can sense when a guy's hurting and is altering his pitching mechanics. I guess the same would be true for knowing a hitter's swing. And is he favoring something when he's taking a swing? One and 2.
Yeah, Nick, he started in hockey. Hockey was a sport, and he said interesting that to compare the two athletes, hockey players and baseball players, very similar. They're having a hand-eye, hit a puck, hit a ball, kind of similar outside of the skating. Hand-eye coordination. Hockey players are good golfers like baseball players.
And the checking, that's different too.
Yes, a little more of a physical game. So he's taking some good rips here. Maybe some with not both hands not securely on the bat, but he's getting through the zone.
Foul off the left field line. He was right on that.
He's had 3 excellent at-bats tonight, even if he doesn't win this one. He loves it.
Well, he's had to miss some time because of the thumb, but so much for him needing rest during the All-Star break, because he's had a much better second half. Out over the plate, line to center, but right to Cave. That's a long inning, and the Royals strand 2.
Really? He's supposed to be out with Tommy John surgery. Why would you when you can hit like that? 19th home run of the season. Man, he's talented.
Tied at 6 to the bottom of the 4th inning, and now Glenn Sparkman will take over in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Minnesota will have the top of the order: Mauer, Polanco, and Rosario.
Sparkman, go right after him. This is where you hold the opponents down till your guys come back and snake you a win. It's beautiful. Impress the manager every time out. The rest of the season, the rest of the two weeks, 3 weeks, whatever we got, is show me time. Be prepared.
One ball, one strike on Mauer. Philmeyer was charged with the 6 runs. And then McCarthy, with 1 out in the 3rd inning, came on and got a couple of ground balls. And now Sparkman is the 3rd Royals pitcher. And that breaking ball is a little bit low, 2-1. Into the left field corner and deep. And off the stone wall in left field, and now a mad scramble for that souvenir. Let's go to Joel.
You sometimes hear about pitchers or hitters going down to the minors and getting something from a coach saying, I want you to work on this or that. The only adjustment they'd made with Glenn Sparkman was just moving a few inches over towards the middle of the rubber. He was over on the other side before. Just that slight adjustment is allowing him more consistently to hit his target glove side and to be able to get results like this. Sparkman said he's much more confident. He saw the results immediately in the minors. And then talking to Cal Eldred, Vance Wilson, they say you move over a little bit, and then as you get more comfortable, you could move yourself back. But that adjustment sometimes is all it takes to get back into the groove.
I mean, HUD for a hitter in the batter's box or a pitcher on the rubber, I mean, 2 inches feels like 3 feet.
Yeah, that's why they're such big adjustments. Even this is the shortest, smallest adjustments are large in baseball. And it's muscle memory. We all know that. These guys have been doing it for a long time in their lives, and they've honed their skills, and they've been able to handle the mental side of failure in this game to get this far. And you have to adjust.
The Royals scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning, and they had a 6-2 lead. And then Jorge Polanco came up in the bottom of the 3rd, and he dropped down a bunt. It seemed pretty harmless at the time, and that was the beginning of a 4-run rally to tie the game. And now Escobar is going to take that bunt away. So he was playing in the shortstop area, even though he's the 3rd baseman with the overshift, but not this time.
Beat me once, not going to beat me twice.
Deep left field, but Alex is there. 2 down.
Parents and grandparents, the perfect gift for your young Royals fan is now 50% off. Purchase the 2018 Sluggers Blue Crew box for just $15. Membership includes a jersey, flat bill cap, drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, 2 ticket vouchers, and much more. Purchase your discounted membership now at guest services or online.
Eddie Rosario singled and scored in the 4-run 3rd inning. He was not taking good swings against Philmeyer. And with 2 strikes, just punched one to the left side and got it past Escobar, who went into a dive. So that put 2 on and nobody out. And then Forsythe hit a overspin high bouncer up the middle that ended up in center field, and that's what got the Twins going. Fastball by him at 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, Sparkman, he'll go low to mid 90s. Likes to pitch inside, slider, curve, change.
Curveball has popped up. Mondesi is there, and Sparkman has a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. Hungry for legendary pizza and chicken? It's Pizza Ranch for the win. And by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL. Royals 6 and the Twins 6. Royals got all 6 of their runs in the 3rd. Minnesota has a 2-run second and a 4-run 3rd, and this is Minnesota's 4th pitcher as we enter the 5th inning. It's right-hander Trevor May.
Yep, Trevor May, he's got a big arm, that's for sure. He's going to go 92 to 97. Power curve, slider change. 6'5", 240. Large body out there coming at you.
Big rip by Rosell Herrera. Rosie has walked twice, once in the 2nd and once in the 3rd. That's lined up the left field line and fair ball and up against the stone wall for a double.
Nice. Got a way to go with it. Get a little something going here. Mo Lottery replay will show you. Rosie said, you know what, that fastball looks good. It's elevated. All I got to do is just have a nice level swing and I can keep it fair. Exactly what he did.
Now we'll see what Escobar does with a runner at second base and nobody out. He will show bunt and take outside. Esky was on with an infield single in the Royals' 6-run 3rd inning. gets the bunt down. So a sacrifice gets Herrera to third with one out.
Man. Check this pitch out here. That's way down at the bottom of the zone. Look at the backspin. Had a little backspin on the ball, deadened. Did the job.
That is Eski's 7th sacrifice bunt. And now Minnesota will bring the infield in for Ryan O'Hearn. He came out as a pinch hitter in the 3rd inning for Cam Gallagher and struck out against Busnitz. Breaking ball is low, ball 1. One and one on O'Hearn. Ryan has a Royals record, 9 home runs and 23 RBIs in his first 26 games. High fastball, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Power pitcher, high fastball, man, looks good, but got to discipline yourself to lay off it. Unless you can get a good piece of it and get a sacrifice fly. But I'd say that he's made the most of his opportunities with his production. Day one. Yeah, better job. Because they'll keep throwing it up there if you keep swinging.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Ryan O'Hearn, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Sounds like a pattern. Sees pitches.
Got him with 94. 2 outs in the 5th inning.
Yep, that's twice he got him on that pitch that was up in the zone. It was a good pitch to foul off. Couldn't get it. Trevor May had a little extra oomph on it.
Well, if you're talking line drives tonight, Whit Merrifield is 3 for 3. But 2 of those line drives have been outs. He is lined to the pitcher. He is single to right and scored a run. And he is lined to first. One and one. Herrera opened the inning with a double. Escobar bunted him to third, and May just got a big strikeout against Ryan O'Hearn. He was looking for something else.
Ooh, that's the one there.
Still 1 and 2. This is just the 15th game for Trevor May. He missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery and didn't get back to the big leagues until July the 31st this year. That was his first appearance in almost 700 days. Broken bat, And an easy play for Maurer. So the Royals are not able to cash in the leadoff double to the bottom of the 5th in a 6-6 tie. Well, that's the Royals side of it, and they had a 6-run 3rd inning. Minnesota side is a 2-run 2nd and a 4-run 3rd, and it is a 6-6 tie. Bottom of the 5th inning. Glenn Sparkman came on in the 4th and looked good. Got the Twins in order, and now he'll get Forsythe, Cave, and Garver. Forsythe drove in the first of 4 runs in Minnesota's 4-run 3rd inning, and now he gets one under Escobar's glove. And he's at second base with nobody out.
Looked like Escobar just kind of misjudged it. Ball stayed down, pulled his glove up. He makes those plays. Usually, I'd be surprised if it's a hit.
It's an error. And now Cave hits a ground ball into right field. Forsythe is held, and now a throw goes all the way to the plate. And Jake Cave goes to second base.
Bonifacio coming in. You must hit the cutoff man in that situation. He's not that far away from you. They held the runner. O'Hearn going to the bag in case. Now he comes off the bag. Look at him. He's standing there with his arms up. Excuse me, Dozier. And he couldn't hit him. Took the double play situation out.
So Sparkman, very similar to the beginning of Phil Myers' 3rd inning, comes on and gets a couple of ground balls. Got an error and a base hit. And then a throw to the plate. No error, by the way. It's a base hit, and the runner going to second on the throw home. Second and third, nobody out. Mitch Garver singled and scored in the second inning and then grounded out with an RBI in the third. Oh, and 2. Just missed with 95. Joel was telling us last inning about the positioning change by Sparkman as to where he sets up on the rubber, and that was suggested by Cal Eldred when he was sent down. And Sparkman has only been pitching since college. Very similar to Heath Fillmyer, who started tonight for the Royals. Similar to Jake Newberry, who's in the Royals bullpen. And one advantage when you sign a guy who hasn't pitched for very long, even though he has a lot to learn about pitching, you don't have a lot of bad habits to break. You don't have guys that have been set in their ways for 10 or 12 years. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I would think, this is generalizing, but I would think that it would be easier to get guys like Glenn Sparkman or Heath Fillmyer or Jake Newberry to make changes.
Yep.
Because they're still learning.
That's why it's important to, when you're looking for a pitching coach or a hitting coach, that you find somebody who has the good communication skills, number one. But Cal Eldred has been in every single role a pitcher can have in his long career. So that's very helpful. He's been in all those situations.
Count goes from 0-2 to 3-2 on Garver. Grounded back to the middle, it hit the side of the mound, and the Royals get an out. The Twins get a run to take the lead. But the mound took some of the steam out of that ground ball and kept it on the infield.
Yeah, this is weird. Watch this hop. Little second bounce. Mondesi had to alter his footwork just so he could get in position to catch and throw.
So it's 7-6 Minnesota, and now that is a fair ball. Kepler gets it past Dozier. Bonifacio plays it off the side wall to hold Kepler to a single, but Jake Cave scores, and Minnesota leads by 2. And here comes Ned Yost out to argue with first base umpire Bruce Dreckman. Now this is not reviewable, but from up here it looked foul. And Dozier responded immediately that he thought it was foul. A tough call for the umpire, because he on one hand is trying to get out of the way and then make a call at the same time.
Like it went over the bag.
Which is all it has to do.
Yep.
If it's on the ground.
Kepler ready. He was ready for that inside pitch.
So the error and the wild throw to the plate results in 2 runs. Grossman is walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. 1-1. You're talking about Cal Eldred, Hud, and how he relates to everybody. Cal's a first-round pick, so he can relate to a young guy with a lot of pressure, and maybe a guy who's trying to accelerate his development because he's a first-round pick out of the University of Iowa. Cal has had Tommy John surgery, so he knows what it's like coming back from a major arm injury. He has been a starter. He has been a reliever. He has been a closer. He has had to resurrect his own career by signing a minor league contract.
Humble pie.
So just about every pitcher that comes his way, whatever that pitcher's situation is, Cal, just about every situation can say, yep, I remember doing that. And now Grossman is on with a walk for the second time. 2 on and 1 out. Tomorrow night, Fox Sports Kansas City will bring you both the Royals Twins and Sporting KC Orlando City match. Our coverage will begin at 5:30 here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Sporting KC will be on Fox Sports Kansas City Plus starting at 7 p.m. Go to foxsportskansascity.com for more information and channel listings. Both will be streaming on Fox Sports Go. A-Ray Adrianza blooped a single into center field with 2 outs in the second inning and drove in 2. Outside for ball 1. And now he has Kepler at second base and Grossman at first with 1 out. Two and out. There's a base hit into right field. That'll get Kepler to the plate. It'll get Grossman to third, and Minnesota takes a 3-run lead. A-Ray Adrianza has driven in 3 tonight.
Okay, bottom of the zone, but middle of the plate. Looking for that pitch. Hit it hard.
Speaking of, here's Cal Eldred. Sparkman is going through what Phil Meyer went through in the 3rd inning, where he's made some good pitches and gotten some bad results of either bad luck or bad defense. Cal's out there to make sure that Sparkman pulls it together emotionally and doesn't let this thing snowball. And now Jerry Vasto, who made his Royals debut in Cleveland, warms up in the Royals pen. And now Joe Mauer inside for ball 1. We're not even done with the 5th inning, and we've seen 15 runs, 17 hits, 11 walks, and an error. We have not seen a triple play. We have not seen a balk, and we haven't seen catcher's interference yet. But there's a lot more baseball yet to be played.
That's right. We haven't seen the high chopper over the infield either.
Nope. And we've seen 230 pitches.
Wow. How about rolling him up?
We haven't seen obstruction or interference. Three and one. At one point tonight, the score was 0-0.
It was, but all of a sudden, the middle innings, here come the runs.
And that is the 12th walk tonight, and they're loaded up with one out. And it's not just the Royals. Minnesota, they're responsible for 6 of the runs and 6 of the walks. And Ned Yost is going to go to his 4th pitcher before we're done with the bottom of the 5th inning. Proving once again, you can't beat fun at the old ballpark. Stanley, the bases loaded, one out in the bottom of the 5th. Coming up in just 4 days, Fox Sports Kansas City presents our annual This One's For You broadcast honoring our armed forces. This year, Joel is going to fly over to the Middle East, and will be joined by George Brett, Brett Saberhagen, Reggie Sanders, and Mike Sweeney. And we'll meet with deployed troops, including the Missouri National Guard 35th Combat Aviation Brigade out of Sedalia. So we're looking forward to that. September the 11th, right here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Jerry Vasto was impressive in his Royals debut. It was on Tuesday. Well, he didn't mess around. He came on in the 6th inning, and good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3 up, 3 down.
That's his job. Throw strikes. Fastball, slider. '89 to '93. 2-seam sinker.
Outside to Jorge Polanco. He is 1 out of 3 with a bunt single, which triggered a 4-run rally in the 3rd inning. So that set the table. Now he's trying to clean the table with the bases loaded, 1 out, and he's out in front of a changeup. Grossman at 3rd, walked. Adrianta at second had an RBI single, and Maurer at first walked. One and two. Didn't quite get it where Salvi wanted. Salvi was set up inside trying to tie up Polanco, and that missed outside.
Yep, that was a pretty good miss.
Still 1 and 2. Jerry Vasto was drafted out of Division II Felician Community College in New Jersey. Taken in the 24th round by the Rockies, and that was the only school that had any interest in Jerry coming out of high school. And one of the things that fuels him as a big leaguer is being overlooked in high school and being taken in the 24th round of the draft.
Yeah, good for him. He's here. Wants to make the most of it here. Slider down and in. He's got to show a little bit of back leg. Changeup. Knew we had a changeup.
He is out of Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, where his father was the chief of police. When he first arrived in Cleveland, and we were told that he'd be meeting with the media, so we all went down there just to listen to him talk. Number one, he sounds like he's from New Jersey. And number two, you know, someone will say, well, what do you throw? And a lot of pitchers will go into a long explanation of their pitches and their velocity and all that. Jerry said, fastball, slider. That's it.
What's next? Yeah, then he was asked, what's your best pitch? And he goes, whichever one's working that night, which is good. You don't want to let everybody here find out what your best pitch is.
Fastball, slider.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you need to know. This is pitch number 10. Hit into shallow right center field. Grossman back to tag, and he will hold. And Bonifacio hits the cutoff man Dozier. So it was a 10-pitch battle, Vasto and Polanco, and Vasto gets the out. And here comes Eddie Rosario, a left-hand batter, and he's the 9th man to come up in the inning. The 3 innings where Minnesota has scored tonight, each not the way you'd want to begin an inning. A leadoff walk in the second, a bunt single in the third when the Royals were expecting Polanco to swing away, and a ground ball error in this inning. That's down and away, ball 1. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike on Rosario. His hit in the 3rd inning was his 155th, which is in the top 10 in the American League. And like Whit Merrifield, he has a career high this year in multi-hit games. 2 balls and 1 strike. Whit has 47. Rosario has 46 multi-hit games. Two and 2. A lot of foul balls against Fasto in his 2 matchups.
I mean to tell you. Well, this is what they brought him up here for. They want to see what he's got, see how he looks. That's the only way they can find out. Coming over for the Drew Butera trade. It's good they were able to land a lefty.
Another pop-up. Mondesi calls off Escobar, so Vasto comes on with the bases loaded and 1 out and gets a pop out to shallow right and another to shallow left. Have a new infield tarp by the time this one is over tonight. 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Janet Pugh from Paxico, Kansas.
I guess so.
Okay. The Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning. Janet wins $300. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Janet wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals.
Hope she wins.
Holtze informs me that it is off of I-70 in between Topeka and Manhattan.
Okay.
Which Holtze would know because his wife Carrie is from Topeka.
Okay.
He's probably passed through Paxico a few times. Trevor May begins the top of the 6th inning with a 3-pitch strikeout to get Mondesi. It's his 2nd strikeout.
May going right after him with a high fastball. That's his pitch. Gets a lot of swings and misses on him.
Well, it happens so often, and it reared its ugly head in the 5th inning tonight. One team, in this case the Royals, has an opportunity to score, and they don't cash it in. Trevor May pitched around a leadoff double, and then the other team always seems to score in the next half inning, and Minnesota came up with 3 in the 5th. Alex hits a shot foul past Mitch Meyer.
Did you see that backhand?
Saw.
It's nice. Ball girl, no problem. Backhand side, she was on it.
She made sure it was foul. Into center field, and Jake Cave is there, so Alex has another good swing, but out. And there are 2 down in the 6th inning. And there's Eric Skoglund. Looks like he's getting ready for the bottom of the 6th inning. He was reinstated from the disabled list on Tuesday. Ball 1 to Dozier. He is 0 for 2 tonight, but he walked and scored in the Royals' 6-run 3rd inning. Minnesota got 2 in the 2nd. The Royals scored 6 in the 3rd. Then Minnesota scored 4 in the bottom of the 3rd. And then they added 3 more in the 5th. One of the runs was unearned. That's blooped into left center field. Cave races over to get it. Hunter took a wide turn, but with a 3-run game he holds, and Cave makes a good throw back to the infield.
Yep. That bat broke on that one, jammed him.
Bonifacio has singled twice, walked, scored a run, and driven in a run. One ball, 1 strike. And a base hit into left field for Bonifacio. That's his 3rd hit. And with 2 outs, the Royals have back-to-back hits, and Salvador Perez, representing the tying run, comes up.
Okay. Bonifacio finding the holes.
And it's time for our sprint trivia question. Salvador Perez is the all-time home run leader at Target Field for a visiting player. Name the 3 Twins with the most career home runs at Kauffman Stadium. 3? That's to the gap in left center, but hooking and into Rosario. And that's the inning. So the Royals have stranded 7 in their first 6 at-bats.
reinstated from the 60-day disabled list on Tuesday. He hasn't stopped smiling since he came back. He avoided Tommy John surgery. It was a long road to recovery, but nowhere near as long as it could have been. And the smile got even bigger Wednesday when he found out that the Royals had acquired Ben Lively, who was designated for assignment by the Phillies. Why the excitement? Because when Skoglund went to the University of Central Florida as a freshman, it was Lively there on the right of your screen next to Cam Gallagher, who took him under his wing as a member of the rotation. Lively was the Friday night starter for UCF, and he was a mentor of sorts and a good friend to Skoglund. The two were drafted 1 year apart. The two made their major league debuts 3 or 4 days apart last year, and both thrilled to be reunited with the Royals.
There you go. They'll be the pitching side of Dozier and O'Hearn.
There you go. If they can perform like that, they're welcome.
Skoglund gets Forsythe, Cave, and Garver. Skoglund was out with a sprained left UCL, the dreaded ulnar collateral ligament, and when that is torn, or at least torn to a certain degree or in a certain spot on that ligament, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's where the Tommy John ligament transplant surgery comes into play. What they've learned about the UCL in the case of Jesse Hahn. Jesse Hahn came over in a trade with Heath Fillmyer from the A's, and Jesse Hahn has a tear in his UCL, but now if it's in a certain spot, they can repair it. Much like Seth Maness. Remember, we saw Seth Maness last year. He was a case that a lot of people were keeping a close eye on because it was believed when that ligament tore that there was really nothing you can do, but now they're trying to find new ways to speed up the recovery process without that severe injury or severe surgery. Forsythe is out. One down in the 6th inning. So anyway, Skoglund was worried he'd need Tommy John surgery, but so far it is just a sprain. Our sprint trivia question: name the 3 Twins with the most career home runs at Kauffman Stadium. We've been given one hint, and that is all 3 have been in the last 20 years.
How about Torrey Hunter?
Okay, write it down. I think that's a good selection. I'll throw Justin Morneau in there. Morneau hit his first major league home run at Kauffman Stadium.
Yes.
Two balls and no strikes on Jake Cave. He has scored twice and driven in a run. That'll be back into the crowd.
Hard to think of 70s.
What about
hitting mashers like?
What about Jock Jones?
I like that.
Jock Jones one year, I believe it was 2002, hit the second pitch of the season into the fountains. Twins were at Kauffman Stadium opening up the year, big crowd. It was a warm day in April and the wind was blowing out, and on the second pitch of the season it was 1-0 Minnesota.
Huh.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
He might be the answer.
Back to the middle. Mondesi picks it off. And Dozier with a stretch. 2 down. Well, I like your Torrey Hunter selection.
Okay, run him up the pole.
Torrey Hunter. Strike 1. Wow, wow.
Torrey had a lot of 2000s in him. Go with your pick, Jock Jones.
I'm feeling Justin Morneau more than I am Jock Jones.
Okay. I think you should go with Jock Jones.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
All right, Jock Jones.
Ding,
Correct.
ding, ding, ding.
Mitch Garver has a couple of RBIs on groundouts. And he has singled and scored. Merrifield waits and makes the play. So it's a good return for Eric Skoglund. 3 up and 3 down. 9-6 Minnesota to the 7th. Perez hitting a 3-run home run in a Royals 6-run 3rd inning, and the Royals led 6-2. Minnesota came back in the bottom of the 3rd and tied it with 4. Jake Cave drove in one of the runs and scored, and then Minnesota had a 3-run 5th inning. That is A-Ray Adrianza, who has driven in 3 tonight, and that's where we are right now. 9-6 in the top of the 7th inning. Now we're going to see our 10th pitcher. It'll be Matt McGill. So now Paul Molitor is down to his last 10 relievers.
He's still got plenty of arms. McGill, 88 to 93, fastball, good slider, curve change. 28 years old. He's had a pretty good season. His 34th appearance here.
Rosel Herrera has walked twice and he has doubled. Royals have left 9 on base tonight. Two balls, no strikes. Popped him up to the left side. Polanco calls off Adrianza. 1 out in the 7th. Trevor May just gave Paul Molitor a couple of scoreless innings and worked around a leadoff double in the 5th. That was a big inning for May and the Twins. He's our Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line. And then he stranded 2 more in the 6th inning. Escobar dropped down a bunt to get Herrera to third after that leadoff double in the 5th. But then May got a strikeout and a pop out. Trivia question, Hud.
Go with your guy Maurer. Or excuse me, Morneau.
My guy, by the way.
Oh, well, I mean your choice.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I meant, yeah.
You make it seem like we're going to go camping when the season's over or something like that.
No.
Okay. The 3 Twins with the most career home runs at Kauffman Stadium. We have Jock Jones. Torrey Hunter was not the answer. Surprised both of us.
Yeah, so we have a strike.
All right, Justin Morneau.
Ding, 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 ding.
Correct.
Perfect. So your 2 guesses are in. So
I like Torrey Hunter, though. I mean, you brought it up, but I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah, well, just not a winner.
Could be Maurer just from the sheer number of seasons.
He can't go deep at the K, can he?
Well, let's see who else. It's in the last 20 years. Corey Koski.
He had some power. You don't think Big Poppy? He didn't have enough time with the Twins.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was done with them. What? 03?
Yeah.
What about Dozier?
Good guess. Stay hot. Run the trifecta.
Because, you know, 1 year he hit 11 against the Royals, which is a record.
It's a huge year. And it didn't matter where we were.
Well, we have 2 strikes. You want to do Dozier?
Yeah, yeah.
Brian Dozier. Strike 2. Ryan O'Hearn has another 3-ball 2-strike count. He was not happy after a strikeout in the 5th inning against May with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And he will take a walk. Coming back from 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that'll bring up Whit Merrifield. You don't like Maurer?
No.
Okay.
Yes, we'd like a hint.
Kevin Cedargan, our producer, is asking if we want a hint.
It's pretty nice.
Okay. Yeah. This gentleman is a former batting champion.
Well, maybe you were right.
Well, Maurer had 3, but yeah, you know, hey,
No.
let's think this one through here, okay?
All right. I still don't
He
believe Maurer.
didn't say for what team.
Okay, yeah, I don't believe Maurer.
Or it could be a little reverse psychology, trying to draw us away from the obvious. Oh, I know who it is.
Okay.
He won a batting title with the Rockies. Michael Kadire.
Kadire.
Michael Kadire.
Ding, 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 ding. Good call, partner. Way to go. Thanks for the hint.
Oh, and 2 on Whit. One ball, 2 strikes. Joe Maurer has 6 home runs at Kauffman Stadium.
I didn't think he had that many. It's just he's a gap to gap line drive hitter.
How many do you have, by the way?
At the K?
Yeah, did you hit any home runs at Kauffman
Never
Stadium?
won.
Okay.
Nope. Had to face guys.
Even those big years with the Angels?
No.
Okay.
I had to face Apier. Kidding me? I couldn't go. I have to hit it twice to get it out of the K. Yeah, it's the truth. It amazes me watching batting practice there. Those guys hit. I'm like, man, you could barely see the wall out there so far.
Fastball got him swinging. It is stretch time in Minneapolis. 9-6 Twins.
Annual Girls Night Out at the K, presented by Kansas City area Chevy dealers. First 10,000 ladies through the gates will receive a Royals ladies canvas bag. Buy a VIP package to also receive an exclusive Royals charm bracelet. Purchase tickets at royals.com/Girls Night Out.
Eric Skoglund's first pitch is bounced out to Herrera. Max Kepler is out. He has an RBI tonight. Skoglund had a 1-2-3 sixth inning in his return from the disabled list after the sprained ligament in his elbow. Then he twisted his foot trying to get off the mound at a game at AAA and had to be helped off the field. It looked like it was a serious injury, but it turned out to be a sprain.
He's got some deception in his delivery. He's made some improvements over last season. Staying up, coming down through the ball, a little different arm angle.
Two 2-0 on Robbie Grossman. Two and one. A little bit high and called a strike. Kerwin Danley is in the spirit of things.
He is.
2-2. Kerwin Danley was a very good baseball player And there are several major league umpires who played college baseball, and Kerwin Danley was an All-American at San Diego State. He was a teammate of Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, how about that?
Who was a baseball and a basketball player at San Diego State. Kerwin wanted to call that a strike. He flinched and then thought otherwise. That's the third time that the Royals have walked Robbie Grossman tonight. He is on with one out. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. Number 9 hitter A-Ray Adrianza. And he drops down a bunt. Skoglund wings it over to first base. Safe. First base umpire Bruce Dreckman ruled that Dozier came off the bag. The Royals will take another look, but Dozier did not react as though he thought the call was wrong.
Skoglund, he bounced quickly.
Whoa.
Foot's all over the corner of that bag right there. What do you mean?
But did he beat the throw? Sure didn't look like it.
No.
And Ned's going to challenge.
I think they should.
So you're talking about the difference between 2 on 1 out late in the game and a runner at second base and 2 down, and the Royals are running out of time on offense.
I thought Skoglund made a nice play there.
Yeah, I did too.
He bounced like a cat. I didn't think he could get to it that quick. I thought that was going to be a pocket ball, but he turned it into an out. Or I think once this gets reviewed, you'll see it. He's all over that corner unless we need a different angle. And if Bill Duplessis, if he's going to replay it, you know it's a pretty good chance it's going to be overturned.
The only thing that was suspicious on that play is that Hunter Dozier did not immediately react, disputing the call. It's pretty clear there that his foot is planted on the bag.
Looked firm to me.
Whatever. You ever seen a guy plant his foot securely in the dirt right in front of the bag before? And not have it move at all as the throw was coming in? I mean, at some point the foot would slide, right, if it wasn't on the bag?
Yeah, at that angle, he had it covered, I thought. But you know what? They didn't. Could roll up a double play here.
There are times, and this is just my opinion, that common sense should play into the equation, and the occasion for that matter.
Yeah. We've seen a couple of those this year.
Yeah.
That were
Joe Mauer is 0 for 3 with a walk. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Taylor Rogers is a lefty. John Curtis, who was added to the roster in September, is the righty. And Joe Mauer is called out on strikes for a 2nd time tonight on a borderline call, and he has not been on the same page with home plate umpire Kerwin Danley.
Well, it's a nice pitch, though. I like it. Got some that plenty of the plate. Mauer can hit that ball down the left field line with the best of them if he'd have swung at that.
Polanco grounds it to Escobar. A jump throw back to first, and now Dozier had to leave the bag to save it. Play at the plate, out. So a good adjustment by Dozier, immediately recognizing that that throw was not going to be on the bag, and he vacated to allow him to make a good throw to the plate.
Yep, pulled the throw, but Dozier's heads up.
And it should be a good pitching matchup. A couple of Puerto Rican natives. Jose Barrios, who's really making a name for himself, against Jorge Lopez, who had his best start as a Royal last time he took the mound. And tomorrow's game begins at 6:10 with our coverage beginning at 5:30 with Price Chopper Royals Live.
I'd bet those two paths crossed once or twice there.
Taylor Rogers takes the mound. He becomes the 11th pitcher tonight. It is open mound night. So come on out. The mound is yours. You get 1 inning. Show everybody what you can do, and then you got to let somebody else have a turn.
Well, if you could put up numbers like Rogers has this year, you might get another chance. I mean, he's 3.12 ERA, 2.28 opponents average is good. 64 strikeouts above innings pitched. That's always tells you that he's got a good power pitch. And he's fastball, two different kind of change-ups. Excuse me, 2 different change of speeds by a curve and his change.
Mondesi's down in the count, 0-2. Mondesi reached with his first 2 plate appearances tonight and scored in the Royals' 6-run 3rd inning. Minnesota scored 2 in the second. The Royals responded immediately with 6 in the third. But now the Twins have scored the last 7 runs. Grounded right to Adrianza. He's had a big night at the plate. Mondesi is out, number 1 in the 8th. I would think, even though this isn't the most cleanly played game for either team tonight, Paul Molitor has to be somewhat encouraged. His Twins have been fading away pretty dramatically over the past month or so. They just went 2-7 on a road trip and have lost 5 in a row coming into tonight. And then they were down quickly 6-2 in the third inning, but they answered with 4 in the third and 3 more in the 5th.
You know, how hard must it be for Molitor? He's a Hall of Famer player. He doesn't have to manage, you know. He's already punched his ticket. He's put his time in. He must really, you know, love the game and enjoy teaching it. Ooh,
Alex caught with a jump by Polanco.
what the heck's he got to do? Another outstanding at bat. Outside of popping up his first time when he came to the plate today, he has doubled, walked, lined out to the center fielder, and just lined out again right up the middle. Nice play. All over the baseball.
We were talking about that very subject with Ned Yost tonight, about how few Hall of Famers, and not just Hall of Famers, but great players end up getting into coaching or managing for a couple of reasons. Number one, as you said, I mean, they've proven their point. Most of them have made enough money where they don't have to do anything. But another reason is, you know, for a lot of great players, the game just came very easy for them. Not that they didn't work hard, but their ability, their success was natural, and that makes that very difficult for them to teach that to somebody else, as opposed to somebody who's a backup player or spent a lot of time on the bench and had to spend more time thinking about the game and finding a little edge here or there to stay in the game. You can relate to that with your long career.
Yep.
You know, players, you know, with careers similar to yours are the ones that end up being major league coaches and major league managers.
Yeah, you know, it's the reason it's so difficult. I mean, like, I believe if George Brett really wanted to be a serious hitting coach, he would have been able to continue as great a player as he was. But, you know, like a good example, Rod Carew, he was a great hitter like George Brett too, but he wanted to do it and he was successful.
Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can. The game has not moved like the traffic in downtown Minneapolis tonight.
I knew that was coming. That was good. Good call right there.
Here's our Pepsi fans of the game.
Yeah,
they don't
are.
care. They're having a great time. They're
What a day.
getting a road trip away from Kansas City and checking out a new city, watching their Royals on the road, and they're making memories.
Boy, and I tell you, it's good to have brothers like that play catch with.
Willie Peralta will come on with the Royals down by 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. He has saved 8 for the Royals this year. And Eddie Rosario greets him with a long drive to right field, and he hits it out onto the plaza. This will take a while. Number 23 for Rosario. Now Minnesota leads 10-6.
Ball was shot, man. I mean, to tell you, it jumped off his bat. Curveball hung inside. Slider.
Oh, and 1 on Logan Forsythe. Well, before, I could tell you that the Royals have discovered that Willie Peralta needs to throw more often. His first pitch ends up a long way from home plate, but Willie's had some struggles lately, and the temptation is, if you don't need your closer, to save him, because you never know if you're going to need him 3 games in a row or 3 out of 4 games. So there's a little bouncer up the middle. Herrera was guarding the middle, and he throws out Forsythe. And Ned Yost mentioned a few days ago that Willie Peralta is at his best when he is pitching more often, even though he's still working on the transition from starter to reliever. And the more he pitches, the more sharp the Royals believe he will be. Jake Cave takes low, ball 1. Three balls, no strikes. Both managers have used 6 pitchers tonight. And both managers started going to their bullpens in the 3rd inning.
Yep, they just figured it'd be one of those nights, and it has been.
Three and 2. Some managers like the fact that you can expand the rosters and you got plenty of guys on the bench and you have plenty of guys in the bullpen. Other managers, and it's usually a contending manager, don't like it, because now you take a team who's been a bad team for most of the year, and all of a sudden they have all these options in the bullpen, and you can start mixing and matching in ways that you couldn't over the first 5 months. 2 down in the 8th inning.
The 4th annual Yogi's in the Outfield is back at the K on Sunday, September 16th. Join us for a special 1-hour yoga practice in the outfield grass led by Core Movement, followed by a light breakfast and a ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins at 1:15. Each participant will receive a Yogis in the outfield mat. Purchase your ticket at royals.com/theme ticket.
Mitch Garver has 2 RBIs tonight. So anyway, case in point, you have a team that's having a bad year, and let's say they have 1 lefty in their bullpen, and they've had a bad year in their bullpen. So now you have one team that's maybe a game out of first place, or they have a 1-game lead in first place, facing that team. Well, now they have 4 lefties in their bullpen, and they have an endless amount of choices. And the last thing, well, maybe not the last thing, but one of the last things an established veteran hitter wants to face in the last month of the season is a guy they've never seen before.
Yeah,
so there's some managers who feel like you give a lesser team an advantage in September by letting them expand the rosters. And there's been some discussion about, okay, you can call up as many guys as you want, but with every series you only designate 25 or 26 guys. And I think with a couple of teams here tonight, neither of which is going to the postseason, presents an opportunity to just get more guys in the game. Garver is on with a 2-out walk. You have some younger pitchers in both bullpens who have never pitched a 6th month. They're home right now after a 5-month minor league season, so there's the concern of overworking certain guys. So in a situation like this, I think Ned Yost and Paul Molitor are okay with the rules. Good talk, Hud.
You know,
hold that thought. I'll bet
he comes down, he's out.
Yep. Can't wait to hear what you have to say when we get to the 9th inning.
Okay, bud.
This will be the 13th pitcher of the game, Trevor Hildenberger.
Montgomery, we will break it down. Salvador Perez returns to action. Bad thumb, no big deal. He goes deep. And an arm struggle on both sides. We will talk about that. And I can guarantee that Monty will not break down the pitching style of all 13 pitchers from this one. We will, however, hear from Ned Yost.
Darn, I was looking forward to that. Trevor Hildenberger, and as badly as tonight's game is gone for the Royals. If you're looking for some hope, even though this isn't a save situation with Minnesota leading by 4, the Minnesota Twins have the most blown saves in the American League this year.
Hildenberger. He's going to come right at you with a fastball. 88 to 94 slider, changeup to both lefties and righties. It's a little bit of a sidewinder. Heavy sink.
Bonifacio has not made out. No balls, 2 strikes with 3 singles and a walk. One and 2. Minnesota has used Gonzalez, Busnitz, Moya, May, McGill, Rogers, and Hildenberger. The Royals have used Phil Meyer, McCarthy, Sparkman, Vasto, Skoglund, and Peralta. Two balls, 2 strikes. Mauer is way off the line and over to Hildenberger in time, 1 out. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler. Joel and Monty are coming up on Boulevard Royals Live with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Casey Carter. 0-1 on Salvi, and he punctuated a 6-run 3rd inning with a 3-run home run, his 17th at this ballpark. That's a record for a visiting player, and he already had the record before the home run.
Remember that thought I had in last?
Yeah,
I forgot it.
I think it was something like, well,
wasn't genius.
we were talking about rosters in September. Some like the expanded rosters. Some think that a lesser team gains an advantage against a contending team in September because they have more options. Salvi hits it to deep left field, and Rosario makes the play.
Really?
So Salvi has a home run to left center field and 2 fly balls to the warning track in left field.
It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone.
Down and into Rosel Herrera, who has reached base 3 times tonight. Doesn't seem like a big run now because Minnesota leads by 4 in the 9th inning, but in the 5th, Herrera reached with a leadoff double in a 6-6 tie. Escobar bunted him to third, and the Royals did not get him home. And really, that was the last scoring opportunity for the Royals. Royals got a couple of base runners with 2 outs in the 6th inning and 1 runner with 2 outs in the 7th. The Twins relievers have set down 9 of the last 10. That's well hit into center field. Cave is back and he runs it down. So the Twins overcome a Royals 6-run 3rd inning. And they end up scoring the last 8 runs. So they take game 1 of the series tonight 10-6, and the Royals drop to 1-3 on the road trip. We'll be right back.